Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome to the KERMACO stream. Sorry about the audio problems initially. Hopefully, everything's working well now. And let's see. Yeah, so we're going to be continuing to work on the dragon and the knight and the sword and all that good stuff. And I just want to let everybody know that if you're watching this on YouTube, because I do record these and put them up there, please like and subscribe. Costs you nothing. It really helps me out. So let's do that. And if you leave a comment, that'd be great. If you have questions, you can ask during the stream if you're on live. And if you're not on live, you can leave your questions in the comments on YouTube, and I will answer them there. Okay? All right, with that, let's go ahead and get going. All right, I think I need to do a couple of things here. Let's make sure that display is on the right thing, and I need to do one more thing and make this thing a little bit smaller. Bear with me, apologies for that, but then I don't know if some of you are on yet or not. Okay, that looks like a good size. And let's see, make sure my audio is in the right place. Sorry, I don't have a team helping me with all this stuff, so I got to do it all myself. And I think I got one more thing to do here. If you don't mind, please stand by. Okay, I think that should do it. All right, let's go ahead and get going. All right, I'm going to put music on until some people start showing up in the chat room and asking me questions, and I will answer them. I'll try and explain what I'm doing, but this does not have as much explanation as my ZBrush live videos. Please watch those there. Okay, so with that, I'll put on my headphones. And here we go. All right, so I'm going to be working on this dragon. I did a little bit of work here. I don't know what's going on with the body. Let's see. I think that's another part. I did a little bit of work on the body off camera, but just some minor adjustments. And I'm still considering whether or not I want this neck to be longer or not, so I'm going to give that a try. Now, not to disrupt what's going on, I think I'm just going to go like that. And let's do pizza boxes. Let's select everything in the head, move it over. And again, this is just me testing to see if I want a longer neck on the dragon. Okay, so go to that guy. And all right, let's see if this works any better. This is just me testing it right now. The only reason why I'm doing this is because I kind of was looking at some of the Game of Thrones dragons and they have really long necks. I don't know if that's working too well. Maybe just a little bit longer. I think that's good. All right, let's get back to pizza boxes and move this thing back. I think that looks okay. Of course, I'll be doing a lot more work on these as time goes on, but for now, I think they look fine. All right. Since I made the neck longer, I'm adding another one of these here. I think last time we determined that this was kind of more of a aquatic type of dragon, kind of the St. George and the Dragon type of time frame. I mean, of course, all this is fiction, but it's good to base whatever you're working on something that is grounded in at least mythology, or historical kind of folklore or something like that. I wish I could have you guys hear the music that I'm listening to. I don't belong to like a music service, so I can't even put out the playlist. But I think that's something that streaming services should do. But copyright is just kind of a big question right now. Trying to see if I can get some anatomical kind of sketches going on with the dragon's neck. Fusing these two together is going to be an interesting thing. I'd have to figure out a way to make the transition. It's not that hard, but just a consideration. All right, let's see. I think making the neck longer, I'm kind of stretched the topology a bit. Let's see if I've got enough. Looks like I do. Just relax it a bit. Let me solo this out. Okay. I could probably just re-dynamesh it, or zero mesh it. Let's go for same. I'm still trying to work with quads. That really kind of made a nice difference there for me. All right. Yeah, the problem is if I play the music loud, which I'd rather do, then I will be blocked by YouTube and, and Twitch and all the services, so I can't play it. The music you heard before the stream actually is not not public, not available to the public, so I'm fine with that. But the music I'm listening to now is not. Right, still working on the gesture. I think I'm going to hide the wings. I think it's kind of a lot of stuff to deal with. That makes it look so bad. All right, let's see here. You can probably hide the body too. I think at this point I can mix the tail and this piece. I think I can do that. So I'm going to do it. And the best way to do that, again, I haven't really done that much work on either one of these. So I won't lose much detail. All right. So I just need to pick this one and merge it down. Merge down. Okay. All right. I think I did the wrong merging, didn't I? Let's see. I don't need these guys. Yeah, I merged it with the legs, which is not what I wanted to do. All right. Not a problem. Split to similar parts. Okay. What I want to do is just merge the tail with the body. So this merge down. Okay, yeah, and these two is what I want to have merged. Of course, the head assembly is a separate thing. All right, so merging these two together, the first thing I'm going to do is dynamesh them so they're one piece. And I'm just going to max out the resolution. Let's do 2000, that's fine. Okay, so now you can see here by where they're connecting that they're fused together. And then I'll just zero mesh this whole thing. Let's see what we get. And again, I want as less information lost as possible. And I think, yeah, I think I'm gonna keep some of this detail. So I'm gonna go up for, let's say, same. Get a little bit more resolution in my Dynamesh or Zero Mesh. And again, later on I'll reproject and do a whole bunch of stuff, but for now I just need enough to sculpt with. So let's see what kind of resolution that gave us. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right. So just got to work on this transition over here. So funny, some people on my ZBrush live stream say they want to tune into this one, but they don't. I think I might need to do some more work with the scheduling and all that, but it's all good. I'm sure most people like watching these things after the fact anyway. But then you don't get to ask questions or interact. I don't know if this transition here is working. I'll probably make a more kind of pronounced tail afterwards, but right now I'm just I might even consider making these fins a separate subtool later too, but right now I'm just getting the general shape of the dragon. wonder what the equivalent of a DJ is nowadays, like for, you know, on radio, there are DJs that play music. I don't know why I can't do the same thing on Sculpt and do this. I should look into it. It's so funny with the wings like this, it looks like drumsticks. Which begs the question, are dragons edible? Can you eat dragon meat? This transition here needs to work. I don't know if, I think the head is still dynameshed. Is it? Yeah, it's meshed, but it's got some stretching action going. All right. It's got 4 subdivision levels. I wonder if I should, here, let's do that. That way I'll get more even geometry. So what I'm going to do here is duplicate it. And I can probably here we go. I don't know why I've got the voice canceling on in my headphones. This is better. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to reproject this onto another mesh, so I need to duplicate it. Whoa. Nothing like turning up the volume while a song is winding down for the next one to come in like really loud. Okay, do I have 2 of these? No. Okay, so duplicate. So now I've got 2, and with this duplicate, I'm just going to delete all the lower subdivision levels, and I'm going to zero mesh it. Let's see what we're going to get. Is it done? Nope. All right, so now I've got a pretty dense mesh. That's not what I want. So what I'm going to do here is start to zero mesh it at less subdivision levels. Okay, so I'm going to go with, let's go with half. And one more time. I just want to get to a point where it's pretty low res, and then I can start adding subdivision levels and reprojecting. Okay, one more. I think I could get away with one more. Maybe even one more than that. All right, I'm at 19,000 polys. I think this is good, kind of as a starting point. And you can see that fixed this area. But another thing I also want to do here is I don't like this kind of area. So I just need to fix that and get something more along the lines of this. And again, this is going to plug into the neck. So I need to get as much of this as I can. All right, now I'm going to zero mesh it at this same topology number. And let's pick a different color, one more. How about that? Okay, and all right. So now that I like this, I'm just going to mask this part. Actually, I'm going to subdivide. Let's see, how many is this one? This is 1.3 million, and I've got 336. I could go one more subdivision level, 1.3. Okay. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to project this to this, but I don't want this area projected, so I'm just going to mask it off. Actually, oops. Let's get this mask. Okay. How about there? Yeah, that's good. Now I'm just going to go to one of these views here and pick these two. And let's see how good of a projection I will get. All right. Okay, here we go. I think that worked out pretty good. We've got some weirdness going on over here. And I don't know why. All right. I think I'll just help it along a bit here and just inflate this part a bit. Try it again. Oh, is there anything else showing? That could do it. Or the teeth. Yep. That's why it was messed up. Okay, so it should be fine now. Reproject. Okay, much better. Some weirdness inside the mouth, but easily fixed. Okay, that works for me, and this will be the new head. This is the old one. I'm just going to put it in my builders folder, just in case I need it for whatever reason later. Eventually it'll be deleted, but this is the new head. All right, let's bring everything back. Turn transparency off. Okay. I think that other head is showing. I don't need it to. Okay, here we go. All right. So this works much better for me. All right, let's go to transparent and ghost. Let's work on this transition for now. Doesn't really need to be that kind of ironed out, but I should at least get an idea of what I'm kind of placing here. I think this would be good. Okay, so I got this, kind of the wave, and then we'll have one more spike over here. Like so. I mean, it'll kind of make sense to, here, I'm going to kind of try a different thing. Maybe 2 spikes. Maybe 3 here. Again, this is kind of messing up the topology I had, but again, as I mentioned, I will probably have these fins be separate subtools. In the final here, I'm just kind of going for the concept and the look, and I don't know if having one here is a good idea. I think leaving that for now. Just two over here looks good. All right. Transition from the top's okay. Let's see, transition from the bottom. Turn AccuCurve off, bring these out. Turn transparency off. Okay, that's good. I think I want these fins to be up further. Kind of like a cobra. It's going out way too much. Here we go, it's better. It's weird to be listening to music that's in a different language when I'm speaking English. All right. And I'm thinking I'm probably not going to have scales on this dragon. You know, it's something a lot of ZBrush artists love to do is sit there and put in the scales and the kind of sculpt out the lizard scales. But I think eventually I'm going to have some armor on this thing. Let's work on this head. This is an interesting transition here where it's out and then in. So there we go. That did it right there. It's so funny with these streams. Usually the first hour when I do the Twitch stream is just me, and then somebody shows up. I wonder how that happens. I wonder if I do a couple of this here. Yeah, that looks good. That works. I'm thinking of, let's see if this looks good. I think it does. All right, I think that's a good amount of work on the dragon. Let me do a little bit of work on the back here. Oop. Wrong brush. All right, let's figure out where the guy is going to sit. Let's bring up the wings back. The legs look so small now. To make them bigger. Oh. Pizza boxes. These legs are really rough right now. Like really, really rough. I just want to get the proportions right. And again, this has to kind of work somehow. I don't really, the legs aren't really what propel the dragon, it's the wings. Legs are just to kind of take off and land. All right, we went from French music to, or singing in French to singing in Brazilian. Eventually I will merge this part with the body too. Always a good idea to consider the anatomical parts here. I wonder if dragons, when they go number 2, is it like birds where it just comes out, or they actually, or is it more like a conscious effort? I think I was listening to a lecture at some point, not a lecture, but a speech by Nathan Myhrvold, who, when I was at Microsoft, he became the a technology kind of chief technology officer. I don't remember, a CTO. I think so. And he has an interest in dinosaurs, and he was always asking questions like, you know, how does a T-Rex kind of copulate? Because it's pretty big, you know, like if it gets on top of something, it would crush it. So, you know, it's always good to kind of always be thinking of the biological aspects. If you do, then you tend to create concepts that are more realistic and more feasible. And if the story calls for any biological function, you've already done the work instead of having to retrofit your concept. Okay. All right, English music finally. All right. All right, let's see if I can do some work on the wings. I'm going to spend about an hour on the dragon and then another hour on the knight. Oh, hey, here we go. Peach Claw, hey, welcome back. You're like... I have these on the wrong way. Probably do. How about that? It's going okay. How's it going with you? It's going good. I'm finally getting some responses back to some work that I've been applying for, so that's always a good thing. But yeah, it was funny, at the beginning of the stream I was just saying how at the beginning of the stream usually it's just me for a while and then people come on afterwards, and it's you know, so thank you for joining me again. I greatly appreciate it. What's been going on with you? Anything interesting? Well, work's kind of a bit of a problem right now. I'm gonna take my headphones off. I think the battery's dying anyway. All right. Yeah, I've been. I think a lot of friends, a lot of people I know are kind of in the same boat. But I have seen a little bit of a shift in responses. Like initially I wasn't getting anything. And lately I just, you know, I mean, at least I'm getting some sort of correspondence, which is good. Yeah, 3D sculpting in Blender isn't too shabby. I mean, you know, like sometimes if I'm at a client side and that's all they have to sculpt with, if they don't have ZBrush and they don't want me to bring mine in, I do, you know, sculpt in Blender. It's so limited though. It's just so limited. But, you know, better than nothing, I guess. Some of the companies I work for, they have like an Autodesk suite or something like that. So then they have Mudbox, which I'm also familiar with since I wrote a book on it. But I so don't like using that either. And there's something to be said about how ZBrush's sculpting tools are just right. But what was your experience sculpting in Blender? Did your concepts work out? I think the only other sculpting tool, well, you know, that works. I think the only other sculpting tool people are happy with, and these are like ZBrush people, is the one with on the iPad, the Nomad Sculpt. I think some people are happy with that. Personally, I've never, I mean, I've tried it, I have it, but I've never really spent that much time on it. I did sculpt on it on a trip to Tokyo a while back on the plane because I had some time, and ZBrush wasn't out for the iPad yet. And it was kind of frustrating to kind of learn how things work, but I can see how people could be happy with what it does. And it's a one-time purchase, which I think makes it attractive to a lot of people who are who like that kind of sort of thing. So and there is a beta out for the desktop version of that. So I wonder if ZBrush is going to have some competition in that area. What I'm kind of curious to see is if Nomad Sculpt becomes enough of a threat if it will cause the folks at Maxon to reconsider having a perpetual version of ZBrush. Who knows what the future holds? Yeah, 2D, you know, I do 2D stuff every once in a while too. Oh, really? Yeah, I bet. Oh, no. Please do it. Please don't crash. Man, okay, good. I'm going to quick save. All right, it did save, so. Man, that would suck because I did a lot of work. Yeah, I mean, that is possible. Speaking of Adobe, like Photoshop is just one of my, you know, I mean, I have to use Photoshop, but I don't have a choice in the matter. But I've been getting into Rebel, which is a new, it's not new, it's been out. I think they're going to come out with a new version. But Rebel has is kind of more of a, has traditional painting stuff capabilities in it, and so I'm excited about the new version that's coming out. It looks like they're going to add some really cool stuff in it, and it'll be good to have an alternative to Photoshop, I think, in a way, because yeah, I mean, the subscription thing is just kind of, I don't know. The thing about that I see why companies want to do it. They want to do it because they need to make money, and I understand that. And the reason why they don't make money is because a lot of people pirate their software. So, you know, it's a way for them to be able to make money while... and I do want them to be able to survive and continue to make great products. And the developers work really hard, so I do understand the motivation behind wanting to do, behind wanting to do the subscription model. But I think that, you know, they should be able to figure out a way to do both. So I think Adobe figured it out with Substance Painter, and yeah. Yeah, so I mean, you know, when I got Substance Modeler and Substance Painter, you know, I actually bought the programs, and then they went to a subscription model, and I didn't really upgrade. And then finally, not because I didn't want to subscribe or whatever, it's just because they really didn't have anything that was compelling enough for me to move to subscription. But then they did have something interesting in Painter, and I was going to subscribe, but then I noticed that they have it on Steam, and you can just buy a version and you get upgrades for a year, and I thought that was cool, so I did get it. And same thing with Modeler, right? So and I think I just got, I'm not current now on Painter. I think they came out with new versions and it was after I subscribed. So I mean, it's got to be a nightmare for them to manage all these different versions, but what are you going to do? But yeah, if people stop pirating the software, and you know, if the economy of it, the price becomes a price where it's affordable for people, and you know, I just hate the fact that economy or money is kind of a obstruction to people being able to do creative stuff. But I also, like I said, do understand that the developers need to be able to make money. I honestly thought ZBrush had the best model. Pixelogic had the best model where they you buy the software and you get the upgrades for free, and the way they continued to make money was just to raise the price of the software minimally and get new subscribers or new clients. That was pretty smart. I don't know what's going on here. Are these two separate pieces? No, they're connected. This is a good pro tip here. If you're using Dynamesh and you kind of get something separated out, you can always use the inflate button and Dynamesh it, and then all right. Yeah, I have the free version of DaVinci too. It's pretty neat. I don't know what the paid version has over the free version, but I've never needed it, so I'm good. Thing that kind of worries me is that a lot of these free things, like I always look at something that's free and try to figure out what the long game is, because sometimes they just want you to kind of learn something, like Photoshop, for example. Like I'm so fast with it that you know, learning something new, even the software I was talking about earlier, you know, it takes a while. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I've never really gotten to a point where I'm like, okay, this is there. I want to do something and I can't do it in DaVinci, so I need to look into anything else. I think it's been pretty good. But I've got another one of those situations here where I don't even know if these two are connected. So if I go and use the inflate brush, I can inflate both of them until they touch, and then Dynamesh, and then same thing with the inflate brush. Hold Alt down, and yeah, I don't really spend that much time. I mean, you know, doing color correction and stuff like that. But I know what you're saying. I got to figure out this kind of anatomy here. I got to look at some anatomy books to figure this out. But like I said, I was just going to spend about an hour on the dragon. I think this is my hour. It's starting to look decent. I mean, these are wobbly here, but again, I just need to do some work on figuring out how the wings are going to work. So I need to look at some bat anatomy and bird anatomy and figure how this whole area is going to function. Okay, but I think I'm pretty happy with how it's starting to come together. So let's do a quick save and then switch over to the night and do some work there. Oh, really? I didn't know DaVinci was an Aussie company. That's great. The wing membrane, there's several ways of doing it. Here, before I move off, I'll show some of the ways that there's to do them. I'll wait until the save finishes. Okay, so I think there's a brush curve quad fill. Is this it, or a tri-fill? It's one of these kind of curve brushes. Here, let me see. I think it's either this one or this one. Let's see. Let's start with this one. Let's start with quad fill. And you basically draw out kind of, let's say I want to put a little area like that, and I mean it's pretty thick. I don't need to be that thick, so I can make I think it's depending on your draw size, right? Yeah, I don't know why this is not sticking to the surface. Maybe the other one is the one I want. B. Curve trifill, is that the one? Yeah, I think it is. Okay. Yeah, but I don't get why it's not sticking to the surface. Doesn't matter though, I can always, and then if you just let go, here we go. And then see what I mean? Like you just kind of create this part, and then similarly this part over here. And I'm going to have two versions of this. I'm going to have one with the wings out and then one without. And I think the guy is going to sit over here. Just kind of. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really figured out the proportion too, but hopefully that. Yeah, so curved trifill is the one I used. So see, oops. That's weird. Oh, the color. I think it's, why does this keep, it shouldn't happen. It's B and curve, and it's this trifill one that I used. So yeah, use this one. And I'm just going to leave this as is for now, and let's move on to the knight. Is this it? Or no, that's the sword. Where is the knight? It's this one. Nope, it's not her either. I've got a lot of things in this one project. I need to do some cleanup at some point. I think it's this one. Yeah, here we go. All right, let's see. What was I going to do with this guy? I think I redid these last time. Oh, the greaves. I was working on these. All right, just see if I can. These dynamic? No. Okay. So I'm going to not do the thickness for now. And let me see if I can find some good reference for something like that. There we go. Right, the reference I'm looking at actually doesn't have it going to the knees, so I think I'm going to do that as well. Right, this thing has subdivision levels. It does. I think I'm going to delete the lower one and do this. Right, I'm going to free up the knee here, and I'll probably have knee pads. You know what else is an Aussie company is Procreate, and I use that on my iPad. I like it a lot. So kudos to the Aussies making some great software. Well, I mean, Procreate is good. There are some things I can do in Photoshop that I can't do in Procreate, and I've told them about it. They usually come to Lightbox here in LA, and I talk to them all the time. And there are a few things that I wish that Procreate could do that it can't yet. But I think the company is really a smart company, so I think they will implement it eventually. I'm trying to get this to, okay, here we go. I think they eventually will implement it, and it'll be very cool when they do. That's another software that could use a desktop version. I don't know if they're going to do it ever. The problem is that it's very kind of pen-centric on the iPad, so it won't be that easy to do. Where in Australia are you? Are you in Melbourne or Sydney? I probably have asked you this before. Looking okay. Now with these, I'm going to do something a little bit different where oh, you're outside of any city. All right. Probably will have to re-zero mesh this. Now, I think I saved a while back. I'm going to use the knife brush, which knife curve is always like, you know, it's always suspect whether it works. Delete hidden. I don't think I have anything hidden. So why isn't this just cutting through? Do I have to keep both sides on? Split two parts. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll use a different one. I need a, you know, it's so funny. There needs to be a brush in ZBrush that just basically cuts things out. This one does. The only problem with it is it adds an inside part. But it's a different polygroup, so I can easily remove it. And also symmetry is kind of funky with it. But not a big deal. Easily fixable. Let's solo this. Delete by symmetry. Of course, it's going to delete the wrong one. And then this inside part is not what I need, so delete that. And I think I should be okay. Redynamesh, reZeromesh. I mean, here we go. All right, good. String anything else? So how do you have internet where you are? Is it if you're not in the city, is it a wireless thing, or do you, I'm going to turn dynamic on with some thickness here. Do you use like Starlink, something like that, or do you actually have a wired connection? A big one, okay. As long as it works, you know. It's so funny. I mean, it's like, you know, as per after COVID, you can work from anywhere. I mean, COVID, if there was one good thing about COVID, and believe me, there was a lot of bad, but if there's one good thing, it just kind of, you know, it convinced employers that people can do remote work. And there are certain jobs that can be done better remotely. Personally, I think the best solution is a hybrid solution where you're in the office for specific things, but you know, like if I'm going to be working, like if I'm doing this all day, I'd rather not have anybody interrupt me or not have any meetings or be in a scenario where I can just focus and do it and get it done. Versus last job I had a really, again, people are really nice. I like them a lot. I like talking to people, but especially in a cubicle kind of situation, it's like, you get to hear people talk and say stuff that you don't want to listen to, but you can't help overhearing. And that's why basically, when I'm working, if I have headphones on, it's basically I'm telling people don't bother me. And I'm probably not even listening to music. I just have noise canceling on so I can focus. My cat is really being naughty because it's time for her treats and I'm doing something else, so she's not very happy with me. She'll probably be jumping on the desk at some point soon. All right, this is coming along. I think I'm going to mesh it again. I've never been to Australia. I really want to go. So if you're outside the city, do you have a lot of like dangerous wildlife around you? Oh yeah, I've heard nothing but good things, except the wildlife. Like some really nasty insects and nasty jellyfish. But I'm sure you know, it's exaggerated as everything usually is on the internet. Spiders and snakes. I've seen a few snakes around here too. Rattlers, mostly. When I go on a hike, sometimes there's one on the road, and I steer clear. They steer clear as well. All right, this is kind of coming along. It's a little bit too big, I think, kind of bulky looking. So what I'm going to do here is try and snap it to project it to the surface. So I'm going to go and find the chainmail here and hide it. And I wonder if I should use the Z project. Let's try that. Wrong tool. Oh, venomous. Yeah. But I like the water. Yeah, no, I get you. What's in the water besides the jellyfish? I think you have the blue bottles. I think those are really dangerous. Do you have sharks? We have sharks here in LA too. Great whites, big ones. Like every once in a while, you'll hear some surfer got bit or killed. By a great white. Also have a bunch of other types of sharks too. I was swimming one day and a fin showed up, and I got really kind of tweaked about it, but it was a dolphin. So I don't know why this kind of thing appeared over here, but I can get rid of it. And also, what's this other thing over here? Get rid of that too. It's coming along nicely. Yeah, I've seen some nature shows with some really gnarly stuff. Wow. Yeah, I've heard about the Man of War and all that. It's funny that you mentioned Steve Irwin. Was it Steve Irwin? Yeah, the alligator wrestler, or what was it called? Crocodile? No, that's different. But alligator wrestler, yeah. I didn't know stingrays could kill. We have stingrays here too. A friend of mine got bit by one. Oh, crocodile. That's right. That's right. Croc. That's right. Wrestled crocodiles. Okay, so here's the thing. Like, I would never wrestle a crocodile. I'd never like want to go near a crocodile. Period. Like, you know, they're good. Interestingly enough, I'm probably going to have to do a lot of reference hunting for crocodile pictures for the dragon, because that's definitely a beast that kind of has some of the same characteristics. But yeah, No, but I've seen things like, that are in, like drop from the ceiling, and I think the most dangerous thing in my place is are these like and I don't even know if they're dangerous. They look pretty gnarly, but they're these insects that basically like have a lot, like millipedes, or I don't know what they're called. I don't know what exactly their name is, but they just have like a lot of little legs. And then if I see one, it's a magnificent creature. I never kill them. I always catch them and put them outside. And but they're magnificent looking, but they they're pretty scary. And I don't know if they're venomous or if they bite or anything like that. But I don't mess with them. I'll just put them back in nature. I think that's the extent of the adventure. At my old place, we had a snake. We saw a snake once, but it was tiny. It was like really thin. I don't think it was venomous either. Oh, it hit him in the... Wow. That's a once in a lifetime thing, right? I mean, like, what are the odds? Yikes. I have scuba dived with manta rays. They're beautiful. I don't think they're dangerous at all. I think they're the most magnificent looking creatures. And I've seen eagle rays in the wild. I've seen those in the wild too, while scuba diving. No, snorkeling even. I see them. And I don't think they're dangerous either, but stingrays are. All right, so this is working out for me. I'm going to start subdividing it. That's good. That shrunk it a little bit more, a little bit more. And I'm going to load some alphas here just to add that texture on it. So I've got these alphas that yeah, I think most animals are like that. I think most animals are not really aggressive. I think most animals are like, you leave them alone, they leave you alone. I think, we've coexisted enough to know that like we don't want to mess with each other. But yeah, I mean, even snakes, like, like no snake will make a conscious effort to come bite you. I think if you threaten it in some way or step on it or whatever, that's where most people get bit, is they accidentally step on a snake and then that's it. All right, where are these guys? Let's see if I can... I'm looking for this one alpha. Not part of this. I wish there was a better way of working with alphas. I could use Lightbox, but it takes forever to load. I've told the Maxon folks about that. It'd be nice if they could cache them, but they don't. Right, not these ones. Where are... Do I not have these as alphas? Is that why? Let's see if I have them as something else. It's funny, last time I actually loaded this, it's just some text that I did in Photoshop, and it's just There we go. I think it's in here. Yep. All right, good. That wasn't too painful. Got two of them. I think it's this one. Yeah, it's this thing where it's just text. And let's see what that looks like if I draw it out. Okay, let's just turn that off. Let's go to this brush. The intensity is way too high. There we go. Yeah, it's just like some, Old English lettering. And I just made a quick alpha with it. And I just feel like it gets a sense of it. All right. Yeah, Peachclaw, thanks for joining, man. It was great to see you as well. And thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time, hopefully. All right. I think I'm going to redo this. Oh, forgot the battery was dead. Oh well. All right, so here I'm just kind of creating a texture on this. I'm going to have a border on it, so I'm not really concerned about the outside part, but this looks okay. And again, this is not fully, the thickness is not really topology. It's actually it's just a dynamic thickness. Not dynamic thickness. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to solo this out, and I'm going to put a border curve around it. So to do that, I just go to curves or stroke and curve, and where are you? Curve functions, and I just want curve around the border. Frame mesh, there it is. And then I'm going to go ahead and choose the curve tubes. Curve tubes. Not this one, this one. Okay, so the thing about this is I made the brush size as 1, and it's multiple subdivision levels. Oh, okay. Not a problem. I'm just going to go all the way to 1 and freeze subdivision levels, and then do that. Okay, so here is this, and as you can see, a couple of problems here. One is it's way too detailed, so what I'm going to do here is get rid of that curve because I got it at a high resolution, and then I'm going to turn the freeze off, and then I'm going to go down to maybe level 2 here, then freeze again. And then frame mesh, and I think this should do it. Okay, so that makes the curves a little bit better. I might even go down to level 1. Wonder what kind of curve action I'll get there. So I'm going to unfreeze the subdivision level and go all the way to 1. And freeze. Frame, and I'm going to turn symmetry on so I don't have one on each side. Okay, so that is perfect. However, it's too thick, and there's two ways around this. One is you can use inflate deformer to inflate it downwards, and that sometimes works just fine, like it's here. I think that's good. Okay, and the reason why I'm doing this, and so now that is great, I'm just going to split unmasked points. Okay, so now that's its own thing. No, did it not? Oh, because I'm in solo. All right, so there's that, and then I'm going to unfreeze the subdivision levels here. Okay, cool. And the reason why I like yeah, this creates a nice border around it, and you want to have that because you don't want the metal cutting into his leg. Okay, and here I can still I should have done this before, but it's just some minor tweaks, so it's not that big of a deal. And doing this over is not that big of a deal either if I have to, but just for this minor tweak, I think I'll be okay. All right. All right, the other thing I wanted to do here, I've got this kind of, this is actually really simple geometry. I'll show you guys. It's dynamic, and it's using micropoly. So I'm going to turn this off. And I don't know if, I think that's kind of a cool thing, but I don't know if I like the micropoly it had. And also, I don't know if I want this to be longer. So I'm going to try doing something here. I'm just going to start inserting some edge loops. It's going to be a nightmare because there's all these different ones to do it. So I think maybe... yeah, I can't subdivide it because if I do subdivide it, it's going to be a bunch of long, thin polygons, so I don't want that really. right, that looks good. So I have to figure out a way to get square polygons on here, but I don't want to do insert an edge loop on each one of these. So I think I'm going to turn perspective off first. They're not really aligned in a way. I guess I could try. Let's see if this works. So I'm going to mask the whole thing first. And the reason why I'm masking it is because I don't want to change the polygroups, and I'm going to try and see if slice curve works. It kind of does. It's not really where I want it to be, but yeah, I don't think this is going to be the better solution. Okay, so I have different options of ways to do this, and I'm trying to think of which one I want to use. All right, I think I've decided. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to delete all these bottom parts. I'm using Control-Shift-X to grow my selection, and I just don't want these guys. I don't know why the front disappeared. Let's do this one more time. Wow, got it in one shot. That's good. And I'm going to delete these hidden parts. And what I'm going to do here is add some subdivisions there, and then I'm going to take this and extrude it out. Mesh border. It's going to go in both directions. I don't need the top part, but that's okay. It's easily, I can easily get rid of it. Okay, but here, if I continue to expand it, it's going to intersect, so I need to just tweak a few polygons or a few vertices here so it fans out, because that's what I want. Okay. So here some of the points are kind of going towards each other as it extrudes. And see, like right there, they're kind of converging, and I don't want that to happen. So to right, give it a once over. What is happening in the back? What's this crazy thing all about? All right, let's just do it one more time. Okay. Yes, again, what is all this weirdness? Is symmetry on? No. Okay. I think here there's a problem area. All right, so another way to do this is I'm just going to mask the top part. I don't care about what's happening up here because, again, I don't really care about that top part. But I just want to mask that top part and see if I can almost. I'm almost there. Just bring this down to here. Unsolo it. And then I don't really need this top part. And I don't know why this thing is poking out like this, but easy fix, more or less. Then I don't know why this is all tweaked out down here. All right, so that's kind of okay. And now what I want to do is insert a bunch of edge loops, multiple, same polygroup. Let's say keep polygroup, even better. And here we go. Here are my square polys. Solo this out again. And then I'm going to polygroup these top ones into their own polygroup. Polygon actions, polygroup, polyloop. Maybe one more. All right, and then I don't really need these yellow parts. I'm just going to, I'm actually going to duplicate this before I do this. So I have a version of it. Okay. And then I'll hide this. Actually, I'll move this one to builders just so I have a copy of it. And I do this all the time just because I want to have a, there are parts that I need to, do I not have a builders in this model? I guess not. And this is just a folder that I keep all the duplicate parts and whatever in. But this is not the skirt I want. The one I want is the one on top. Where did it go? This one. And so the whole point of doing this was so I could get kind of squarish I should keep the yellow ones. All right, and are they all threes? They are, except these back ones. Is that okay? I guess it is. Yeah, it'll have to do for now. Okay, so now I'm just going to delete the hidden ones. And then I'm going to go to dynamic subdivision and turn that on. And let's rotate that in X. Nope, Z. See what that looks like. Not bad. I mean, this is something that, you know, when he sits on the dragon, this opens up, and then the one underneath is some sort of chainmail or really thin chainmail. But let's see if there's a better option than this. I think there's a circular one too. How about this one? These are, I mean, for the most part, these are square. Some are not. I think one of the things I will do is just redynamesh it. That's a trick. Oh, I'll let it save. Right, so we got about 15 minutes left. I'll do a little bit of work on this, and then I think the next thing we want to do is maybe pose this guy. And I'm going to do that in Character Creator maybe next time. If you guys want me to do this on camera, you know, creating one of these, let me know and I'll do it next time. This is always good, kind of scales, but I think it might be too much. How about that? No. I think a lot of these are more aimed to be kind of clothy type of things. So, yeah, the weaves that they've chosen. Sometimes I wonder if it would be great, like it would be great to be able to load a library of these instead of doing the other thing, which is basically hitting control and choosing another item. Like I can choose that. I don't know if that worked. I think maybe because it's just, there's too much geometry. But yeah. I can have the stars or whatever. It's pretty straightforward, but it'd be cool if you could just go something like here. There would be an option just to load a library of them. All right. I think none of these are going to do it for me, so I probably will have to make something that's going to be interesting and feasible, and I'll show it next time. But I think we're almost out of time, so in the meantime here, let me hide this piece, and we'll do a quick render, and then we'll just end it here. Let me see, do I have my, I think a lot of these materials are okay. I made one. I wonder what it would look like with that material that I made. So I'm just going to go ahead and load up that material under material, materials, and did I put it here? No. Where did I put it? I wonder if I saved it with the other project. I might have. Here, I'll do one more check here, and then if it's not here, then I'll put it somewhere else. Yeah, I don't have it here. All right, I'll just load it. You know what? I think I'm just going to go with something I already have. How about this one? Yeah, I think that looks okay. And let's see what a render will look like. Whoa, got some filters going here. All right, let's fix that. This one's noise. Let's turn that off. What's this one? Sharpen. Let's keep that. This one, Orton. That's good too. Blur. We don't want that blur. Okay, so this is looking good already. Now with the noise, I just want it to be in the background. So I'm just going to do a mask. So it's just the background. Okay, and I think there is some noise in the material itself. Yeah, that looks good. And then I'm going to do a couple of other things. What's this one? Vignetting, sure. And this one, yeah, overlay. I think this one I need to position it correctly. Up, down position. And fall off. To rotate it just a smidge. Okay. I think this material has a color built in, so it's just using that color. And I think I need to do one more here, which is the in-out. There we go. All right, I think that works. I'll do one more render. Yeah, that's fine. And the only thing I need to do here is, I don't know why this material has its own color. Let's see if it does. Yep. Something like this. See what that gives us. All right. I'm going to do one more thing here with the render filters, is add an outline edge. All right, that works. And then let's do a interior cavity as well. And then we can reduce the amount. Okay. And then last but not least, I actually want to have a range, a gradient in the background. Why is it initializing redshift? I'm not using a redshift material, right? Let's do BPR. Is this a redshift material? I'm not sure. About zoom to. Okay, here we go. Well, anyway, I guess just thank you everybody for tuning in, or Peach Claw for tuning in, and everybody else who's watching this on YouTube. Thank you for watching it. If you have questions, leave them in the comments. If you want me to show you how to do your own dynamic subdiv micropoly, let me know that as well, and I'll do it next time. So next week I will be on ZBrush Live, next Friday, and then the Friday after that I'll be back. Again, thanks for watching, and happy ZBrushing, everybody. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.